Hello, my name is Shah Jahan, and today's video is going to be about what is it to be LGBTQ in Uzbekistan and to live in an Islamic family.
I met up with Shah Jahan, or John as he's also called, during a short visit in Stockholm, Sweden. I don't remember when I last saw this much snow, and I really didn't know how to handle that. And neither did my camera. So please forgive my non-existent camera skills in the snow and try to ignore the snowflakes slowly covering the lens.
My name is Shah Jahan, but people call me John. I'm 22 years old. I'm from Uzbekistan and I moved to Sweden 2 years ago because of my sexual identity. I had to flee from my country to seek asylum.
Let's take it from the beginning and listen to what it was like for John to grow up in Uzbekistan.
I grew up in a very religious family. I didn't grow up with my parents, I grew up with my grandparents. For me, it took so long time to understand why I was different from anyone, because since Uzbekistan is very conservative and very dictatorship, I never heard, we never hear about, nobody talks about queer people, nobody is talking about this kind of issues. So for a very long time I was confused. I struggled a lot why I was different.
We're jumping forwards a couple of years to when he had started to understand himself a bit better.
I didn't get a chance to come out. I was dating a guy and we were together for a year. We were so happy in a relationship until my boyfriend's sister, she saw our messages on his phone. She came to my home and she just exposed to my mother, and my mother was so shocked and she was crying, and she gave the worst reaction that anyone's parents could give. She beat me a lot. She even called my uncle from different city where he was living, and then my mother told to take me there to religious school. For my mother, she thinks that it's my desires. She says that it's your desires that you don't want to give up on, you want to have fun. And she still thinks that if I really want to change, I can change. So she sent me to religious school, and I was there for 2 months. I was studying religious stuff and praying, and I really did try to change. I was praying to God every night. I really believed in God. I had faith because I didn't grow up with my parents, so the God was only faith that I had. I was telling to God, God, you are the greatest. It's nothing for you to change me, change the way I am. You have made the whole universe. So every night I was praying to God, please God, make me straight. If I wake up in the morning tomorrow, please I start liking girls so I could make my mother happy. But I worked so hard on myself, I prayed, but I think it got even worse. I got even more depressed and I couldn't do it anymore. But the only way I had was just pretending to be straight. And after these 2 months of religious education, I went back to my mom where I was studying. I had a best friend, a girl best friend, and I talked to her about this all because I had no one to talk to about it. And she was very understanding, and then we planned that she's gonna play a role of my girlfriend. And that's how I could survive. I could pretend that yes, I have a girlfriend now, I have changed, and now I will never do this again. I will never talk to guys in a romantic way. So I promised my mom, and she was asking me to promise, that you will never do this again, and I did. And after that, I graduated high school, and I knew that there is no future for me in Uzbekistan.
Apart from being forced to hide his true self, there was another reason that made him feel like he had to leave.
And also there wasn't many people who were fighting against homophobia in Uzbekistan and in general in whole Central Asia. So I wanted to become an activist because I was nobody's talking about it. So why I can't do this? Like, why not me? Why it shouldn't be me who will start this and talk about the LGBTQ issues?
But in order to do that, he first had to leave the country.
Since I came here, I have been to many protests, I've been to many conferences talking about the whole Central Asia, and every time I talk about Central Asia, not a lot of people know about it. So I have to make a whole presentation first. What is Central Asia? So Central Asia consists 5 countries, which is Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, Turkmenistan, and Tajikistan. And these are the post-Soviet countries where people still speak Russian mostly. The whole Central Asia is mostly Muslims. It's very conservative, and people judge on your every action. Like, it was even a problem how I was walking. Like, my classmates used to say that, oh, you walk like girls, and they wouldn't talk to me because of that. And every time we had a physical education class, nobody would take me to their teams because I didn't know how to play football, or because I was acting like girls. So like every time we had this physical class, boys were going to the boys' changing room, but I was also going there, but I was waiting everyone to first dress up, then I could change my clothes. So I was ashamed of them because they were always making fun of me.
But now he's left all of that behind and he's been in Sweden for 2 years.
I'm very happy since I came to Sweden, even though I didn't get my permit to stay yet, but I feel free that I can wear whatever I want to. I can paint my nails if I want to. I can have a piercing if I want to. I can have a makeup. I can wear as a drag. I do sometimes, and I feel so free. I can be whoever I am. I met a lot of friends here. I built a queer community here that I couldn't in my country. And I think that the problem in my country is, since people don't get enough education, like sexual education, or like a lot of people don't even know what is LGBTQ, like for example. And I think it's really sad for me that I met a lot of guys that I see myself, that they cannot accept themselves. And it's been times that I was also disgusted from myself, that I was ashamed, that I was different, that my mother hated gays so much. Like, I can't just explain that in words. I really believed that I was a mistake. My mother calls me like a mistake of nature. Like, I'm sin, I'm whatever there is.
And the day after our interview was a very important day for John.
I have my asylum interview tomorrow, which I came for to Sweden. And me and my lawyer are very positive about it. Hopefully I will get my permanent residence. And the first thing that I want to do is to study, because this is the time where I have to work on myself and build a career for my future, and also to be in a relationship, because in my country I had 2 relationships which were really traumatic for me. But here I am free and I can be with whoever I want to be.
And he's actively working towards making this life possible for others as well, together with some friends.
We want to fight against homophobia and Islamophobia even, because since Uzbekistan is a dictatorship country, it's very dangerous also to talk about this kind of topics. But since we are there, I have friends who are, many of them are in Europe and in US, and most of them they claimed asylum, and they are free to talk whatever they want to, as I'm doing right now. Because when I was back in my country, I was even afraid to talk about it. Even like giving interview would be like, nobody would do that, I think. But since now we're here, we were organizing to open an organization called Rainbow Central Asia to fight against these dictatorship countries, to decriminalize Article 120, which criminalizes being in a same-sex relationships. And we have done many protests so far, and I have done some speeches on World Pride last year.
And he really is passionate about changing his country.
I love my country, I love my people, I love my tradition and everything, but I just want people to accept. I mean, world needs kindness and love, and that's the only thing which can save us. We don't need war, we don't need to hate each other. We don't have to make boundaries, I mean, we don't have to make borders and hate each other. And that will only make us feel alone, I think. I hope that Uzbek people will also understand that it's not something that we can control. I think we're born this way. I think people have to learn to accept the diversity of people and diversity of queer people, I would say.
And he has a specific hope for Uzbekistan.
I would be so happy if I could see a rainbow flag in our Uzbekistan street. That would make me so much happy. Yeah. And I believe that I will. One day I would be able to hang a flag in my country without any problem.
I'm really looking forward to sometimes in the future seeing this picture of Shah Jahan with his rainbow flag in Uzbekistan. To sum up, he wants to say a couple of words to his fellow country people.
I have something to say for people who are in my country and people who are Central Asians, I would say. If you hate LGBTQ people, I just want them to think, why do you hate them? Why it makes them so angry to see people or people who talk about these topics. I just want them to ask themselves why it's bothering them so much. And I just want to tell them that if they have the answers, I want to say that they should get more information. If they are religious, that's okay, but I still want them to do their own research before hating them. I mean, the information that they get is from their parents, and I just want them to have their own opinion, to think a little bit that why it's bothering me. I just want to say that live free and let others live too.
If you enjoyed watching that video, please like, comment, subscribe and share the video. I really appreciate you showing your love in that way. If you also want to support the channel financially, that's possible via Patreon, but really no pressure. See you next time!